Press record right now. All right. I want to say thanks so much for taking out some time, Matthew. This is awesome. I had a chance to see the flick earlier, and I had a blast. So, and it also kind of scared me too in a couple scenes. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So, um, but how did you come up with this origin of this movie, and how did you think to mix sloths, horror, and like sororities?
So I came in as the director. The script had been written. I was basically given the script through a producer of mine who also produced Slotherhouse, and it had the title Slotherhouse. The script didn't disappoint, and it very much wasn't the type of movie I think I would ever think to make. I write as well, but I don't think I would ever write a killer sloth movie. Um, it was written by Bradley Fowler, and he and Katie Lanigan, they've been working on this character and this story for a long time, like 7 years or something, in
Wow.
terms of just like the initial idea of killer sloth and then trying to figure out what type of movie that could be. I know there were, some R-rated versions of the screenplay that I'm sure a lot of people would like to see. Um, I was excited that it was, a for a younger crowd. It's like I
Sure.
think we can all kind of visualize the R-rated version, which maybe someday something like that could happen. But
Sure.
for me, I saw this as like a really exciting, silly movie, but a way to try to make a film that could be a bit of a gateway into the genre for younger folks.
Sure. That's
I
cool.
have Yeah, I have a niece. She's 7 years old. She's definitely, I think, too young for this, but I kind of had her in the back of my mind because I know she has a stuffed animal sloth. She loves the creatures, and it was like, how do we make kind of a killer horror movie, but in a way that isn't overly graphic, isn't overly it's kind of dark and upsetting. Like we wanted it to have frightful moments, but at the end of the day, it's like we wanted this to be like a 90-minute really energetic poppy film.
Amazing. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And tell us about the sloth. I mean, what's the ratio from like real to puppet to CGI? You
Dude,
know,
we did all all practical. It's every shot you see in there is our puppet.
awesome.
We That was like from the get-go, that was part of the pitch, was like, we're not gonna make a CG sloth because that is probably gonna look like shit.
Sure.
And who I mean, CG is, they can do wonderful things, but it was like, we wanted this movie to feel, a bit like an 80s, not necessarily feel like an 80s film, but pull from the movies that I think got a lot of us excited about horror, movies like Gremlins and The Thing and Alien and The Fly. It's like all stuff that, like, whether it's a creature feature or just kind of a gory film that has a lot of like visceral things you can touch and smell and feel. It was like that we knew that this movie had to have that, because we wanted Alpha the sloth to be a character uh in itself, and we wanted people to kind of fall in love with her.
Yeah, no, she
If
was
it
awesome.
was a CG character, I don't really think that would have happened. But because I think you can see her hair, you can see the little glisten in her eyes. It's like it's a real thing. And we had 5 or so puppeteers, with rods kind of on either side and below and behind Alpha, for almost every scene. And then off camera, we would have two operators on the RC control, sort of moving its neck up and down, left and right, making its nose twitch, doing the mouth, like making the mouth move. So you see this little thing. It was like a foot and a half, maybe. Like it's not a big puppet, and yet you have all of these people in order to make it move and interact.
I
And
love it.
I think it also helps with the actors, because they're holding a thing. They're not holding a bag that's painted green. It's
Sure.
like they could actually hold and feel the fur, and
I agree, man.
yeah.
Well, like I mentioned, the movie has its moments, like one where like the sloth goes to strike a girl and takes like forever to move. I was dying, and then there's some great jump scares. Was there a challenge to balance that comedy and horror?
Yeah, I think so. And it's hard. Like horror comedies don't always work. I think it's a hard
True.
balance
Yeah.
to find. Um and because I think we looked at this movie first as like it's it's a comedy. Like at the end of the day, the
Sure.
title, the premise of the film, it's like we want this film to be funny first, like first of all. And if I can find ways to insert like true horror moments, like me as a director, it's like horror is my favorite genre. So it's like I wanted to try to really find moments that we could get the audience to maybe jump, or a little kid to scream and drop their popcorn. It's like and we did a lot of sort of the trope jump scares and things like that, but again, it's like looking at this movie as maybe a film that somebody who's never seen a horror movie before will watch. It's like we could sort of introduce them to that sensation of walking down the hallway and looking left and looking right and being like, oh, okay, coast is clear. And then you have the
It's
sting, and
slice.
you have the and it's like I remember that sensation as a kid, and like it just it's so physical, and like and just really impactful. And if we can do that for younger people, it's like that'll be awesome.
Oh, I mean,
um
I love it, man. Well, I think we're out of time, but listen, I think this film's gonna do really well, so I could smell a franchise, man. I would love number two. How fun would
oh
that
man,
be?
I mean, I think we all love Alpha, and we wanted to create a character that could live outside of this one movie in whatever way it can. And so I would love to see what Alpha does next
Yeah,
as
when
well.
she
So
got a
hopefully it
Facebook,
happens.
yeah, when she got a
Yeah.
social media page, I lost it. So
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
telling you,
everyone's got one these days. My mom's got one. Like, everyone's on social media, even sloths.
I
So
love it, man. Well, listen, I wish you the
craziness.
best of luck. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll chat again soon.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate the time.
Take care. Thank you.